There's one video that I have not watched, but that is a must watch if you're into skins at all. The Rarest Skin in Counter-Strike. Arrow worked on this. My driller worked on this for, was it 100 hours? Arrow has shifted his content to only uploading bangers. A bangers only policy.
This is an off-dragon lore. One of the most sought after and expensive skins in Counter-Strike. But it isn't as rare as you might think. With over 6,000 of them, it's not even the rarest op.
Guys, I'm gonna waffle a lot, okay? Rarest Skin in Counter-Strike. Ooh, what is he gonna break down? Stat track minimal wear black pearls. There's some one-of-ones. Stat track factional crimson webs. I think there may be a one-of-one for some newer knives. Maybe he's also pattern basedness with blue gems. Let's find out.
So then from the billions of skins, which one is the rarest?
Stat track well-worn howl. Super rare because float.
Find out, I packed my bag and traveled all around the world, and I got a lot of answers, so I'll be splitting them up into different categories.
It's Easter eggs, wait.
On the world, and I got a lot of answers, so I'll...
Rarest item question mark. Souvenir, sticker, glove, knife, float, illegal. Something he drew in high school, I assume. We have a little artwork right here. W room. We have a guitar. All right.
Be splitting them up into different categories and ranking them from least to most rare. Now let's start with souvenirs, and if you don't already know, these are items unboxed during majors. And to learn more about them, I stayed right at home in America. This is when I learned about the oldest souvenir package from the DreamHack 2013 major. When these were first released, they were almost all unboxed. And in 2015, when it would have already been expensive to open these, Valve accidentally added the R8 bone mask, leaving us with just 9 of them, by far making it the rarest single souvenir item. I want to get rare with it, and for that, I'm going to be looking at souvenirs within a specific wear. First, there's the imminent danger, which is so hard to unbox and well-worn that it...
Guys, just a quick fucking story on this R8. Just quickly. The R8, it's a package from 2013, right? And the R8 got released years later. It shouldn't be in that case, but for whatever reason, it is. So, years later... nowadays, like in 2020 and so on, 2021, people unboxed some of these old packages and realized, oh damn, you can get the souvenir bone mask from this. Sells for thousands of dollars if you get it. Jesus unboxed one himself, a Cat 14 one of the rarest ones. I think he sold it for, was it $4,000 or something? I don't know. Crazy. Super cool, unique. Somehow they f***ed up and the R8 is inside.
Wear. First, there's the imminent danger, which is so hard to unbox and well-worn that it only exists 4 times.
Wow.
This is due to the float cap, making it much harder to unbox and well-worn. And there's also not many people opening Vertigo packages, but if you do, there's only a 1 in 3,906 chance that you unbox the red. The same odds as unboxing a Dragon Lore. And the D-Lore has a very similar float cap, so there's only 3 in well-worn, making it the second rarest souvenir.
Excuse me, why are some floats more rare?
Well, floats aren't actually random. Even though it looks like you should be getting factory new 7% of the time, it's actually only 3% of the time.
You 3 clowns are in here again? Get out!
+1.
But what is the rarest souvenir?
That would be the M4A1S Nitro, which only exists 100 times in Souvenir, but due to the extremely small float cap for factory new, there's only 1.
Dude, one of the coolest items. One of the coolest fucking items, bro. Oh, yo. I think this one, wasn't it for sale recently or something? There was something with this one recently. Look how nice it is, bro. It has a Snowflake DreamHack sticker on it. In not the best position, but one of the better positions for sure. Let's go. Souvenir factory new.
The odds to unbox one of these is incredibly small, so the fact that it even exists is quite rare. Now on to stickers, and for this, I flew to where they're most popular, China. These are the 2 most expensive stickers, the iBuyPower and Titan Hollow. But are they the rarest? I counted up all the iBuyPower hollows, and there's nearly 5,000 of them applied onto weapons, and almost 8,000 Titan hollows.
Yeah.
But if we're talking
what a lot of people, let me just quickly say this, because I invested into Cat 14 stickers, like I have still a bunch, and the challenge, it's still the same nowadays. There's always different capsules, right? Challengers and Legends, and there's always teams that are cooler in one capsule rather than the other. The Challengers capsule is much rarer than the Legends capsule, because everybody was trying to get, in the Legends you have NIP, which was God tier back in the day. A lot of people bought NIP, bought the NIP capsule, which was the Legends one, which happens to have the Titan Hollow as well. There's old unboxings back from from 2014 of these Katowice packages where people say, oh no, not the Titan Holo. I'm trying to get the NIP, guys, because it was the best team and it was actually in price, I think maybe even higher than some of the other holos from the capsule, because they were dominating back then.
About these stickers not applied onto weapons, then there's about 100 of each. And these aren't even the rarest Eye by Power stickers. From DreamHack 2014, there are 1,170 Eye by Power golds, and from Kato 2014, there's 347 Eye by Power foils. But this still isn't the rarest. Tyloo qualified and even had stickers for the Boston 2018 Major, but they weren't able to get visas. The capsules they were in were quickly swapped out, and not many people had opened them before they did this, leaving us with more Eye by Power holos than all Tyloo player stickers combined. But more specifically is the Bondit Gold that only exists 9 times. 6 that are on skins and 3 which are unapplied. By far the rarest sticker.
I think, do we still have some Brazilians in the chat? I think your favorite streamer, Gaulzes, has a lot of these super rare Tyloo Boston golds. Let me make sure if that's true or not. Here. Boston Gold. Okay, not the one in question, though. Bonded. He doesn't have bonded. Never mind. Sorry.
Before we get to the knife, we're going to need some gloves.
Maybe in a container.
For that, I went to Antarctica.
Was it 100 Thieves? He did have some super rare Bostons. Like, Gauls knows his shit. He is so into skins. He has a #1 blue gem as well.
Oh, it's cold. There we go. Now, gloves are already pretty rare, with only 1 million in circulation compared to the 3 million knives. And something that I found interesting is that sport gloves exist the most while also being the most expensive. While Bloodhound gloves are some of the cheapest and only 27,000 of them exist.
Wow.
But that's still a lot. So then, what are the rarest gloves? These are the Tier 1 Max Red Minimal Wear Crimson Kimonos. This is a pattern-based skin, and it has 5 tiers based on the amount of red that it has. And there are only 4 Tier 1 patterns that have the max amount of...
4 or 5. One kinda got added. Bro. My favorite gloves. I have one of these and field tested. I love it, love it, love it. A lot of pros are using these nowadays as well. They're borrowing them from Chinese collectors. Bruder.
Red, leaving us with only 11
So nice.
minimal wear Tier 1 pairs.
And the crazy part, there is no factory new ones. There's always a bunch of field testers. There's probably around 100 Tier 1 field testers. No factory new ones, which could be the most expensive gloves in the game over Pandora's Box gloves. A Tier 1 Max Red factory new would be insane. I think minimal wear Max Reds sold for, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was $40,000. Was it 40K? I think so. FN would go nuts.
Unlikely to unbox one of these that the factory new version doesn't even exist yet. Next up are knives, and for that I went to the UK because they have a bit of a knife problem.
But Arrow, we don't have a knife problem in the UK.
Anyways, Counter-Strike definitely
Sparkle's
does have
feature.
a knife problem. We've unboxed 3 million knives, which is 1.2 billion cases, most of which are butterfly knives, due to being in so many different cases and also having one all to themselves. And the rarest finish is the Black Pearl, with only 217 of them. But why is that? Well, if you were to unbox a butterfly knife Doppler, there's a 10% chance for it to be a gem and a 1% chance for it to be a Black Pearl. On top of that is a 10% chance for it to be StatTrak, and then a 1 in 26 chance for it to be minimal wear. Which means this exact knife that you're looking at had a 1 in 300 million chance of being unboxed. And with that, we're just getting started. If we use these exact same calculations on the factory new Karambit case hardened pattern 387, we find that it's a 1 in 825 million chance to be unboxed. Now, obviously, that's the same odds as every other factory new case harden, but this is the holy grail of blue gems, and there's only one. Now on to floats, and if you don't know, this is what determines how good or bad...
We all know the $1.5 million Karambit had an offer at one point of 1.5 mil. Still in the same hands. Owner said no, it's a guy who's into NFT games now, I think, or AI games, something like this. Noobrage is his name. Still has it to this day.
Now on to floats, and if you don't know, this is what determines how good or bad a skin looks. And to learn more, I sailed to Japan. And here I found the highest float skin in the game. and another one, and then 16 others. But how can they all be the same float? Well, the highest you can get is just 6 9s in a row and then an 8, because Valve coded it slightly under the maxed integer, which means that anything dropped between this range is pushed down, and that's why we have 18 skins with the same float. But one of them is a bit more unique than the rest. Even though it's the same float, the AK Headshot is by far the rarest high float skin. Because it's a red, the chances to unbox it in the first place is 1 in 156. And
this got unboxed like a month ago, by the way.
Although it's hard to calculate exactly what the odds are, we do know that from 19 million reds, it's the only one with this float.
Crazy.
But what's even more mind-blowing about this skin, and this isn't a joke, it was unboxed today. And even before this was unboxed, I was talking about how the roll cage was actually the rarest high float skin. And even though I'm a little bit freaked out, we still have to look at some low floats. Like this classic fade, which is the lowest float knife in the game with 7 zeros.
Wow.
See, what's great about low floats is that they don't cap until incredibly small numbers, so we can get some really impressive skins. And that leads us perfectly into the M249 Gator Mesh. By far, the lowest float skin in Counter-Strike with 9 zeros. Now, I mentioned the max signed integer earlier.
What was the offer on this M249? Dennis owns this. Was it $8,000? Someone offered $8,000 for this M249. But it is the lowest float skin in the game, which is kind of crazy. Wait, sold for 20k. I forgot about that. When was that? Ah, it sold for a Kato capsule. I remember. LOL. Someone traded for a Kato capsule. API, what's her name? Low float trans girl. Yeah. GG. A Kato 14 capsule she traded for it.
Lowest float skin in Counter-Strike with 9 zeros. Now, I mentioned the max signed integer earlier, but this is when it's really important. Out of the 2 billion different possible floats, this M249 is number 3. Yep. Number 3. Wow. So this really is a 1 in a billion chance skin, and compared to every other skin on this list, it kinda just beats them all. Well, not exactly. I still need to talk about some skins that shouldn't exist. And for that, I got back on the boat and went to a place that shouldn't exist. Australia, where I saw some very strange creatures and another strange M249 Gator Mesh. Except this one is a souvenir, and we have no idea where it came from. It's the one and only souvenir without an item description. Every other souvenir has this text explaining what event it came from, but this one doesn't. We can of course tell by the sticker that it's from DreamHack 2013, but that's all we know for sure. It is suspected that it was the first souvenir ever unboxed, but we don't have an actual answer.
I don't know about that. What? I've never seen that before. That's insane. Who owns that? Fuss? What's the float of that? How do I find it? Souvenir M4 Gator Mesh. Bro, I'm stunlocked right now. How do I find it?
One and only souvenir without an item description. Every other souvenir has this text explaining what event it came from, but...
Which sticker is it? Shooter. Chat, I have to see who owns it. I have to see who owns it, bro. Ah, man, GG. This guy doesn't sell.
Every other souvenir has this text explaining what event it came from, but this one doesn't. We can of course tell by the sticker that it's from DreamHack 2013, but that's all we know for sure. It is suspected that it was the first souvenir ever unboxed, but we don't have an actual answer. However, we know exactly why our final skin exists. This is the No Star Karambit, called that because it's the only knife without this little star.
Wow.
And it also has a float of 0, the only skin without an actual float. And it even has its own Steam market page where only it can be sold. It was created by Steam support when they used to refund scammed items.
Wow.
Usually support would have sent the exact same item back, but while sending out the Karambit, they accidentally created a completely new item. And there's nothing else even similar. But of course, every skin I mentioned is special.
Do you know what's crazy? There's apparently as well I think it's a Bayonet No Star, which just popped up. Skinport released their own database, and on their database there shows up this knife. I remember being in Iceland in a car with Anormally, and he was about to buy new pants because his pants were wet, and then a tweet popped up, No Star Bayonet. And I was in the car like, holy macaroni. Bro, I was stunlocked. I thought about it all day. I remember that exact moment, bro. Yeah, here, Bayonet Vanilla. Zack. But I don't think this guy has it. Look, 0 float. We don't even know if it's real. There's also, I think, a flip knife, no star flip knife, Steam market page. So that implies as well that they should exist. Bayonet is not tradable. Yeah, there's something different about it. It's just still cool because we realized that super late, and they probably have existed for years, you know.
And there's nothing
because of Skinsports' database, which lacks a lot, but it did get revealed there.
else even similar. But of course, every skin I mentioned is special for its own reason. There will likely never be another...
Before all the frog port, Skinport 12% fee. Expensive. Skinbit.com 8% fee, 3.5% fee above 1.5k, 0% buying fee, cash out same. We also use ADN, skinbit.com if you want to buy or sell skins, you already know. Had to do it.
Their factory new nitro because there's not enough packages, and same goes for the Bondic Gold. But we might eventually get those factory new Crimson Kimonos, the 387 Karambit, or a lower float skin. And we know that Valve is not perfect, so let me know which one you think is the rarest.
Has to be the no-star Karambit, no? Nah.